Scene Live. And now, Rockin' Rudy.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? RGB! Boy, that was an awesome intro.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Hey, episode number 1 right here, Rockin' Rudy on the scene live. And look, yes, it is him. He is here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know who he is, then you do not know who he is. Let me go ahead and tell you. The one and only, the living legend himself, Rock and Roll James. What's up?
I'm fortunate to be living, right?
Fortunate.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
Congratulations on your new podcast.
Thank you. It was a beast of burden for sure. But you know what? I've got good people with me. I got good crew.
You got a crew, man.
I got a crew. These guys are awesome. Let me tell you, it's
all kinds of people in here in the booth.
All kinds, all the way from New York, Detroit, and here on the RGV. Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Without you guys, Rockin' Rudy would not be able to do this today, but you know what? We're doing it today.
Tonight,
yes, of course. Yeah. And also thank you to 97.7 FM The City, KCYP, for giving us this great big opportunity to go ahead and start my show here with them, which I do love. I love it a lot. Joe Martinez and company, thank you so much for keeping us, or having us here, should I say. And we're going to be having lots of fun today because James is here. No, but because that's just what we got to do. We got to make sure it's good for you to come back and see us again next week. For all you people that are out there that have been calling and texting and saying, what's going on? Yeah, we got a lot of things we have to do before we get started, but you know, we do have to share the building too, so we don't mind at all.
Speaking of share this video and like and subscribe and do all that good stuff and tell all your friends about it, because I'm not the only one that's going to be coming in with him. He's going to be bringing in a whole bunch of artists and guests, so I'm looking forward to that, man.
It is known as a talent show. If you've got the talent, come on out and show us.
Even if you ain't got talent.
Come on over. What's the do something here?
Sometimes the talent list, trying to have talent, is a lot more fun to watch than the talent.
And the thing about it is that it's live. So if you drop something, you drop it. Everybody's going to see it. Let me put it to you that way, okay?
Grace under pressure.
Yes, it is. But let me tell you what. The show is about you, Valley, okay? It's about you guys, all you gentlemen and ladies out there. You know, if you've got a talent, it doesn't matter if you can sing. It doesn't matter if you play in a band. I don't care if you know how to do karate, judo, chop, and a flip and kick somebody in the face. Just come on out, show us what you got. Let's see what you can do. We'll be happy to go ahead and put you on our show and let everybody know what you got.
Cobra Kai, baby.
Cobra Kai, So it is live and it's awesome, but let me tell you what. I've known this guy for a long time. I think we're going to say I'm almost 30 years, James. Wow. It's been a long time.
Time flies. I was just telling my wife, we're always bitching that time flies, but we're always bitching that Friday doesn't get here fast enough,
I know, right?
So it's like, okay, well, that messes our mind up, man.
Well, and also the thing about it is that once the weekend hits, you go to sleep, you wake up and it's already back to work Monday. It's like, what happened? That went too fast. Right?
I think they should, you know what? We should have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, good, productive work days, maybe 10 hours a day, maybe, and then have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, right?
They should give us Mondays
and
off.
We could just, do a couple extra hours and, that'd be nice.
I was kind of like reaching out to some people out there, and you know who you are, and asking them. I've known James for the longest time. I've already asked him basically all the questions I can ask him. What would you ask him if you ran into him? You know what one of the questions was?
What?
I can't tell you right now. I'll tell you later.
All right, okay.
It's on the book here. We got something that we're going to ask him here a little bit. But for right now, James, let these beautiful people know exactly what it is that you do. Besides Q94.5, the rock station, because we know that's what he does. He is a radio jock, and he is a great one at it, too. And as you know, by first-hand class. Tell me about you.
How much time do we have here?
It's up to you. You're the one
a lot, bro.
I want to know about your newest gig as a radio host for
El Paso.
El Paso one.
Yeah.
Yes. Talk to me about that.
El Paso, our company owns a radio station in El Paso, 92.3 The Fox. I work here in the RGV 956, right, at Q94.5, all rock all the time. And so the El Paso radio station didn't have a morning guy or an afternoon person, and they had a midday guy. His name's Mike Guerrero. Really cool dude, and very famous over there, by the way. They made a mural of him on the walls and everything. Wow. So shout out to them. But our program director from Santa Monica, California, called us and they asked us, hey, would you all be interested in doing a morning show in El Paso at the Rock radio station. And I said, okay, well, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. And he said, well, we'll be giving you this much extra, to do it. And I said, okay, I'll do it.
Okay. Yes,
you know what?
We can do it.
I've never said no to money, or work, which is that I've never said no to work. I mean,
but then look at the kind of work we do.
Yeah. No, but I didn't just start there. I mean, I did a lot of things as a kid, trying to make a few bucks here and there. Pero, yeah. So where was I?
That you were doing your show for over there in the program director.
Yeah.
Over there said extra money is like your money.
Yeah. You got a little sidetrack there. So
it's gonna happen a lot.
So I said, okay. So now I go into work at about. I get up around 4:30 in the morning, get to work about 5:30, which is 4:30 in El Paso, and I start doing my morning program. And by 6 o'clock El Paso time, it's already in the 4 hours, and so it's pre-recorded, but still, it's still hosting, and it's informative, and I do the weather, and so
nice.
And I'm getting to connect with a lot of people in Juarez, Las Cruces, El Paso. So I think it was a good move for me to do it. And the money that they gave me extra wasn't really extravagant, but it's a little bit of money, a little extra money, and like I said, any little bit helps. So
especially with the gas prices.
Yeah. So it's been really awesome. And I get to play classic rock over there, classic rock over here. And
you're just a classy guy. That's what it is.
It's the first time I've ever done radio outside of the market. I've never, and many times during the 90s when I was doing Tejano, and it was at the height of its, I was a pretty big personality down here. And then because of the TV show that I had, where I'm with Selena, all those interviews with Selena on YouTube, that's me with hair back in the day. So that was but I stayed here in the RGV, and they've told me, I always wondered what my style of radio and delivery and language would do, how it would do in San Antonio or another market. And I never went. And they would tell me, like one boss went in there once and he said, hey, why didn't you ever go to San Antonio? I'm like, I don't know, man. Everything I got is here. I mean, I don't need to go anywhere else. I've been here all my life. I've got so many friends and family, and and everybody I know lives here.
Right, and your whole family lives here.
And I was already at an area in my career where I was, doing morning radio on Tejano radio, and Tejano was bigger than anything, So I was doing good. There was no reason for me to, jump around. Plus, I was well known down here as a club DJ, and so I had a traveling DJ service. And so, man, I'd get a bunch of bookings down here. You know what I mean?
Every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend.
Nice,
I was making money. So, like I said, I'm always working. I'm doing something. Even people think the DJing at a party isn't work. It's work.
Oh, no, it is. It is a lot of work.
So
we know first class.
Yeah. So, I had no reason to leave. I always thought if I go to another market, well, I'm not gonna have DJ gigs anymore until I build myself up a bit. You know what I mean?
Start all over again.
Estaba todo listo, está hecho. My chavalos were here, so dije, pues aquí me quedo, carnal. I mean, and the RGV, and so now, I was offered that spot in El Paso, and I was like, okay, I'm somewhere else, and I don't have, I'm not. I can't be there because I'm over here, right? But it's good to do that. It's like syndicated,
Of course,
I always wanted to be syndicated back in the 90s, but
syndicated now. It's good. It's good. I mean, of course, it's part of our careers as what we do here on radios and stuff like that. I mean, you get the opportunity to go do radio somewhere else, and you don't have to leave the RGV, and you're here at home, real nice, comfortable, and your wife's bringing you tacos, and how you doing it? James does all the time.
I will say that traffic's starting to get a little como las 5 o'clock de la tarde. No, hombre, shut up. Because I know a lot of friends that live in Austin and Houston, and they say, man, the freaking traffic sucks over here.
Tell them to come down 281 over here or 69 over
here. It's because the interchange.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
They turned the 3-lane to 2-lane to 1-lane. The terribleness. Let me tell you. I want to ask you real quick, James. I know you've been in the business for a long time. 38 years, you said, right?
Yeah, about that much. Radio's been 36. This August will be 36 years. But I started working at clubs in '84.
'84.
So it's what 40 years. It's 40 years, man.
In '84, I started working at Skateland. Y'all remember Skateland way back in the day over here on McCall or second?
I worked at Skateland in '82. '82. I was doing little. My mom kept trying to get me into like little DJ things because she knew I liked music, but all the albums I had were like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and Van Halen and AC/DC.
The good kind. That's all
they were gonna get. They weren't gonna get any Rick James or any type of Donna Summer, none of that stuff, or disco or none of that dance. It was puro pinche rock and roll.
Let me tell you, asústame one time only because we can. I want to send out a big old shout out to all you beautiful people that are tuning in right now, and I know that some of you are like, I can't see you, well, because in an hour, 24 hours or so, we'll be able to go permanently live all over the place. But for right now, Facebook's got us, and you know what? We got them too. Rockin' Rudy James is my special guest for today for my very first episode for tonight's Rockin' Rudy on the Scene Live. Big old shout out and thank you to my crew. These guys are awesome, amazing. Look at the artwork. I love it. It's awesome. It's pretty soon, coming soon for you. Shirts. James, I'll get you a shirt.
Merch.
I'll get you some merch. I'll get one for. I told him to bring me a whiskey deal. He winds up showing up with a shirt on. You believe that? I was like, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
This one won't fit him.
This one fits better. I want to ask you also. I know that you do a lot of bike riding. You use your motorcycle all over, go everywhere and everything. I've seen a couple of pictures and posts that you put and all that stuff. What is your favorite place to go when you're on your hog?
Texas Hill Country. I mean, you go out there to Center Point, Lakey, Camp Wood, the Three Sisters. That's like a whole trip around the hills, man. It's really awesome. I love doing that. But, now that I'm real busy, I don't really have a lot of time to be doing that, man, chinga. Por eso vine en la motorcycle.
I was just going to say that. He showed up over here with the Harley.
Lograr este trip out of the house para pues, subirme arriba de la bike, chinga.
Real nice, real nice.
So, pero, no, hombre, Texas Hill Country, yo y mi esposa nos íbamos para allá y we had a beautiful time.
Big old shout out to Riley, by the way. Sorry she couldn't be here. She had a previous appointment already, but that's okay because we have the man himself.
That's my
here.
wife.
That's his wife.
I don't know. She's very busy too. We're very busy people, man.
Right. I call this guy and I said, "What are you doing? Corriendo?" And literally running around, going all over the place. Yeah. But that's what we do, and that's what we've got to do.
The YouTube show that I've got, that it's really like it's got my phone ringing a lot.
Nice, nice. If they want to get to watch all this on YouTube and the other platforms, how can they get a hold or see your stuff?
Well, I mean, I'm basically, I'm on Facebook. I do some Facebook. I post.
I've seen that
a couple of times a day.
A lot more on YouTube,
and then that goes straight to Instagram. And then I'm on TikTok, and I'll put a video there or two every once in a while, like every other day, something like that. And they're usually clips of my YouTube show. Sometimes I'll do stuff and then I'll put it up, and then I've got a YouTube, and that's really, man, it's really been an incredible ride, from when we started. I started in 2014 my YouTube channel, but I was just doing little things. I mean, and then I started doing sit down podcasts like this, and Chris Perez is actually, Selena's widow, right? He's actually the one that got me started doing this.
Nice.
Yeah, because what happened is he gave me a call one night. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Chris?" He goes, "Hey, man, there's some people in LA that want me to do a podcast." And I said, "Well, you know what? The only way I'd do a podcast if you were involved in it." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what do you know what, man?" I told him I have a YouTube channel and I get some mics and I have the phone, and why don't we have a sit down, me and you, and talk, and sort of like podcast style, and then we'll take a photo shoot with some friends that I got, a photographer, and we'll put a little package together and we'll send it to you. That way you send it to LA and this is what they get. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah.
And so we did that, and the podcast didn't happen, right?
Oh, no.
So Chris, me and Chris, because what was going on, some radio stations were kind of dabbling in podcasts. So like I think Catel Castillo had one or something like that, and they would put like a 30-minute podcast once a week or something. Wow. So they were thinking of doing that with Chris, and Chris wanted me to be like the guy that kind of instigates stuff and all that, and it didn't happen. So I said, well, you know what? I enjoyed doing the interview with Chris, and I was pre-recording it and I was editing them and putting, an episode a day, and I'd leave a cliffhanger at the end of the episode.
Oh, nice.
It'd be like, hey, so Chris, ¿qué pasó cuando te agarraste a chingazo when you got into a fight with those? Well, what happened is, and it would cut off, and people were like, what the hell?
Hey, that's awesome. We're gonna try. Okay, thank you, bye.
So you had to subscribe so you could see the next one come up.
Right.
So that's how I started building up my subscribership, but with cliffhangers from episodes. But they were pre-recorded interviews because my band was so busy. We were playing from El Paso to Dallas, and I didn't have time to do anything live, right? So I did an interview with Bobby Pulido. I did an interview with Joey Jams, AJ Castillo. I did Elida Reina, and we edited them down, and we were doing them, and Jesse Turner, and we were doing them episode style. It was a whole pre-recorded interview. Then I cut it in episodes and upload one a day with a cliffhanger, and boom, boom, boom. I started building it up a little bit, even though I was so busy with my Whiskey D stuff. And so then COVID hit in 2020.
The big C.
March spring break. We're about to hit the next week. I think is a freaking it's the anniversary.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because it was spring break when my wife she's a teacher, so we're off, and that was it. And she went to work up to the Friday before spring break, and then in spring break they sent out a memo: no more school.
Everybody stay home. Lock the doors.
So the only people that were capable of leaving were
like the first responders,
or essentials, or
essentials,
right? Is that what they say?
Yeah,
essential workers or something like that.
I know that convenience stores had limited employees, and I know also that HEB and Walmart. I mean, they're like 4 or 5 people in at a time, and everybody had to walk, of course, 6 feet from each other. But I remember those. That was pretty ugly.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. So
except in San Antonio, then
I'd get home. I got home one night, when they said lockdown nationwide and shit, right? So I got home and I walk in and I tell my wife, and they were saying like, man, you got to take all your clothes off before you get into the house. And then you got to go and rinse your body out with the Ajax and Clorox and this and that. And I mean, there were some real crazy rules that they were putting on people that was like kind of impossible, right?
Right. Also the part about, like he said, take off your clothes and go wash it right away. So your light bill went, let me tell you, what did they say? Oh, you don't have to worry about paying right now because of COVID. We'll take care of that later. Then you get a bill of like $6,000-$7,000.
Oh, shit, I don't know about that, bro, but I was living with candles, right?
They had a flashlight with batteries and they would die out, but that's okay.
So I walked into the house and I sat at the, with my wife at the table, and I'm looking at her. We're looking at each other, and we're like, "What the fuck, man? I mean, like, we can't go anywhere. If the whole nation is like, I've never lived through anything like this. This is freaking crazy." And then I'm there, and then I tell her, "What are people gonna do for entertainment? I mean, you can't go anywhere." I said, "You know what? Let's go on YouTube. Let's go live on my YouTube channel. I'll interview you. You're like my first interview. You're a teacher, and I want to hear your thoughts on what you think about school being, freaking canceled for the rest of this year, maybe next year, right?" So we sat down, and it was with the same little 2 mics and a phone that I used for, Chris Bez and Jesse and stuff. And I started seeing people from all over just commenting, and I was looking at that, and I was talking to my wife, and I was looking at that, and I was going, man, I can build on this. I could do something with this. Wow. So
in case you guys don't know, and if those that already know, Rock and Roll James over here is one of those type of people that will dissect things. If you tell him something and he looks at you like the way he just looked right now, look at that look. You see that look? Yeah, right there, He's dissecting you. He wants to pick your brain in the worst way ever.
Everything.
He analyzes everything. Let me tell you.
I do it with YouTube videos. I watch YouTube videos, and I watch them for entertainment, but I'm watching what they do with the camera angles. Anyway,
it picks up little hints.
Yeah. So I started all these people on the chat, and I was like, okay, I can build on this, man. We need to figure something out. So I told my wife, let's go live. And let's get this little board. I'll put some music, and we'll just have a little entertaining show, and it'll be me and you, and we'll take it from there. So we went live, and dude, we started going live 5 nights a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We had Friday night off. But my wife, it was a lot easier for her because, she was at home because of the no school.
The COVID.
And then when she did start working, she was teaching out of the house. They were doing the Zoom thing, which I think was like very bad for our education system because the kids, I don't think, learned much, man. It was a wasted year.
Yeah, they learned a lot. They learned how to set up a camera.
Yeah. Well, it's hard doing being in class when your bed's right there,
and PlayStation is right there.
so my wife was capable of really helping me out, and so we put a show together, and then we started, getting people online, right? And I said, let's give away a care package, a COVID care package. So we gave away like a box of paper towels and, some
toilet paper.
toilet paper, all the necessities, the freaking Lysol, the freaking the Clorox wipes.
Right.
Because you have to be cleaning everything, bro, right? And so I'd be doing my show and talking to the audience, right? I would be talking to the audience, and all this shit would be behind me like in a mountain. Like, that's going somewhere in the United States of America.
Somewhere.
And so, boy, man, that contest, a man from Michigan won. And we had to mail him the whole box full of stuff. And then he put it online. He was all freaked out that he got the box full of stuff.
I remember watching a couple of those old Garage Day podcast you were doing. At one time, did you have like colchones hanging in the back to cover up the space of the light or something like that?
No.
I think it was like a big old flag. I remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a flag, right? I still have the flag on one of my cameras.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you real quick. One of the questions that was asked to me by one special little lady out there. She wanted me to ask you, Rock and Roll James, who gave you the name Rock and Roll James?
A guy named Rene Parrao.
Rene Parrao. There you go, darling. You got your answer? All right, cool.
Yeah, I got it. I was working at a nightclub here in McAllen called the Carousel, and they had rock night.
I remember that. That became the laundry place.
What happened is I was working at a nightclub in Harlingen on Ed Carey Drive called Studio 4 as a DJ. And on my night off, it was Wednesday, I came over here to McAllen because, to meet girls and stuff like that. And we're driving down 10th Street, and I saw there at the Carousel rock night and 50 Cent Bud Long Necks all night. I'm like, well, I'm stopping, right?
50 cents.
So I stopped, and I go into the club, and I walk in there, and the dude's playing nothing but disco, bro.
Oh.
And I was like, what the hell? This ain't rock. This ain't rock. So I go to the bar, right? And I tell the guy, hey, this no es rock. Está tocando disco. Yo no sé nada, habla con el dueño. So I go to the owner, and I knock, and he opens the door. His name was Andres. I said, hey, él no está tocando rock. He's playing disco. He's not playing rock. He goes, pues es el único DJ que tengo de Reynosa. Está bueno, pues nomás te estoy diciendo, pero ¿sabes qué? Si quieres, yo trabajo en un club allá en Harlingen de jueves a domingo y no jalo el miércoles. I don't work Wednesdays. If you want, I can start doing rock night here, man. Why not? He says, ¿quieres hacerlo? Sí. I said, nomás dame dinero para ir al mall a comprar unos discos, So he gave me $250. I went to Sam Goody or Music Land.
Hastings back in the day. Well, Music Land was too. Sam Goody.
What was the other one? No, it wasn't Sam Goody. There was another one, man, in the mall. I forgot. But either way, I went and I bought records. Rad, AC/DC, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin. I was like a kid, man, in the freaking store. You know what I mean?
Kid in the candy
store. And it was my money, so I was gonna DJ rock night, right? Yeah. So then. Wednesday night, I went in there, and within like 3 to 4 weeks, that place was packed, bro.
Nice.
With rockers.
Yes, because we were out there.
So I built up that night. So then my friend Rene Parra was working at a competing club called the Big Apple as a security guard. He's a doorman. So then he got let go, or he quit or something, and he needed a gig. So I told him, hey, man, I'll tell my boss to hire you here. So they hired him there at the door. And then one day I show up, and there's a line of people to get into the club, and I go up to him, and he's checking IDs and stuff. He goes, oh, come on in, Rock and Roll James. And I was like, I kept that name, bro. That's how that happened.
Yeah.
There was no freaking thought process going into it. I never thought like, what could I call myself? What could I name? It was just Rene Parral letting me go into the club Rock Night because I was a DJ, and he called me Rock and Roll James, and that's history right there, man.
And that's how the way became Rock and Roll James. There you go, little lady. You got your answer, right? Big old shout outs to all the beautiful people up there in San Antonio watching this. And then, of course, a big old shout out to the beautiful people in Houston. My aunt had open heart surgery a while back. Y como quiera no se quiere sentar la señora terca, pero it's okay. It's okay. You know,
no se sienta, entonces se va a parar la sangre.
Well, that's what she says. You know,
keep moving.
That day I rest is the day I'm no longer here. Yeah, but I like to keep you here longer. But that's okay. That's you know. And I told you I was going to say something on the show. You were like, no, you are. Ahora, pues ya está. My tía Maggie, dile hi, tía Maggie, dile hi.
Dando shout outs para la familia.
Para la tía nomás porque tú sabes, she got operated, you know, so gotta be nice.
I hope she gets better.
She is better. She's already running around. I can't keep her sitting down like I was saying. Now, but anyways, another question I wanted to ask you, and it's something that I wanted to ask you the last time, is you're one of these type of people that will get in the ring and a wrestling ring and go against superstar Salah, and they made it look so awesome.
It was fun.
It was. I saw it. It was incredible. Big ol' shout out to Mr. David Leja and company TKO, and Cassie Blue with the TWL, the wrestling that brought there. James and Mario practice maybe like about 2 days or something like that, or not even that. Like,
actually, we really worked hard at promoting it. Well, the promotion,
that I remember.
Doing like promos,
right?
I'm doing a promo telling him something. He's doing a promo getting ready for me and shit like that. So when you do something like that, and I agreed to do it. I said, but we got to build it up, man. We got to build it up. And by the time we knew it, we got there, the place was packed.
Well, no, but I remember the little,
and it was hair versus hair.
That was about to say that. I remember how that was like, hair versus hair. Oh my God. It was like, it was awesome. If you got to go see it, you saw something that was like
a lot of fun.
You see on TV, the WWE things and stuff like that right here in the RGB, but with local talent. Again, local talent from the RGB. We've got it. We've got it here. You just got to come.
The last show they had was great, dude. Alvaro Riojas, he did Cinemania.
Ooh.
And he brought Thunder Rosa down, man. Thunder Rosa is just an amazing.
I was going to ask you about that. How was it that you were able to get a hold of Thunder Rosa?
Well, I spoke with Alvaro.
Spill the beans.
Alvaro's working with AEW, and so is Thunder Rosa. So, so she's going to be down, and I told him, hey, man, if you want, can ask her, and if she charges, I'll pay whatever, because. A lot of people don't realize, but sometimes I pay for
the artists to come to the show,
or I help out. You know what I mean? Because they come from San Antonio, so I try to help them out with some little funding or whatever, whatever I can. You know what I mean? So I told them, hey man, is it cool if Thunder Rosa comes on over to the show? And we had to do it on a Sunday night because usually we're on Wednesday nights live. On Wednesday night live, right? So she came by, and man, we had a great time talking. She's a very interesting person, and she's multi-talented. But as a wrestler, I think she's really, really good. And they put on a hell of a show, man. There was some good wrestling. It's entertainment, man.
Hey, let me tell you what, Valley's got some good wrestling too. You got some people around here that'll come out and they know how to flip you. And I got in there with Chris Austin. He's a nice guy, tall, skinny guy, long blonde hair. Well, he had long blonde hair by that time, right? And I said, well, let's do this right then. And he was there at Generate. We were running. I ran against the rope thinking I was going to be all nice and stuff. And I went against the rope, run this way, and all of a sudden he got me. I was looking up real quick.
Chris Austin is an amazing performer, bro.
He is.
Richard Reason también. He puts on a good character.
Science guy. I love him. I love his good too.
I love watching that stuff.
Yeah, man. Danny Chance was good too. Of course, all of you guys are good. All of y'all, not just one.
Of course, it's Danny Ramones. It's Danny Ramones.
What was that name of that guy that when I first saw him, he reminded me of Gino Hernandez. He was with TWL, and he was actually like a loner from the Lucha Libre, from the guys from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
The AAA guys, yeah.
Well, if you look like Gino Hernandez, he had amazing hair.
He did. He had that pelo just like him. He had the glasses and stuff. I swear to God, I think David Leja took a picture with him, and he should have that picture. Ask him to show it to you, because I know you know David. And it was like, wow, he was cool and everything. A question I also wanted to ask you, part of the questions that we got here, and that's what I'm doing, is asking him these questions that he wanted, because he called me, he told me, ask me 10 questions.
Pues, you know.
It doesn't matter what it is, just ask me.
Unas 3 o 4 nomás, no 10, carnal. You know?
One thing you got to understand, Valley, is that as long as we've known each other, I've already asked him all the questions before. And I already know the answers.
So, like, well, you know, I think I've given him some information that he didn't know about.
Exactly. Like, I didn't know that he would take off over there to the hill country to go ride the bike. That's why I had to ask him.
I need to do that, bro. I need some of that wind therapy. It's distressing.
Bill Bug, you know, like
bro.
The
other day, I was checking my blood pressure, because you know that's what we do at our age, right? And I was checking it, and it was so high, right? And I was checking, man, my blood pressure's high. I got on the Harley and I took off. I got back and I put it on. My blood pressure was down.
Nice.
It was freaky, dude. Like, you know what? It is wind therapy, dude. It is, man.
One time, I remember that we were there at the station.
The question.
The question. Let's go back to the question. It's got to be
not rambling.
Whose fault is it? But the question was going to be this. I said, I know that you love wrestling. I know you're a big time fanatic of wrestling. Have you ever see his PBT live show that he's got? He's got all his memorabilia in the back and everything. Charlie Corona by his side, Jax Phoenix, and of course his wife Riley. Great crew, by the way. Of course,
Riley.
I call her Riley.
Everybody calls her Riley.
I don't know. It just sounds easy.
Riley. My dad, my brothers, like they, you know. And she it's Rally,
like Rally. Like
some guy told me Aurora, called her Aurora, because her name's Aurelia, right? But he's called her Aurora. Hey, babe, dijo Aurora. What?
Well, Rally, I'm sorry I called you Riley, but you know Riley sounds better than Rally. But that's okay. I say, hey, you married this man. This man's a great man.
Oh, Riley.
Riley, you are. But the question was this: you're a big time wrestling fan. I know you've been to a lot of great wrestling events. If you had your choice, whether it be here today or gone already, to get in the ring with one person that you did not like, wrestler, who would that person be? Whether if he's alive or no longer here.
Which wrestler didn't I like?
And did you want to get in the ring at that, you know, just because you don't like him, you know? I know we like them all because they're all good people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fan of the heels too, bro. Yeah. Like, I mean, I like the bad dudes, you know.
Yeah.
And when I go to a wrestling event, I always root for the bad guy, you know, because everybody's like for the good guy. So I'm like that bad guy.
You can just see next to some little kid. You can't see me, and Jay's gonna kick him. Get away from me.
So let me see.
All right, here we go.
I don't know. Bro.
He said he would try his best to answer the questions. All right, so here we go.
Yeah. Okay. I guess.
No, but for real.
A wrestler that I didn't like.
That you thought was the worst wrestler ever. If you had your chance to get into with that wrestler, and
I guess Brother Love, man, probably.
Oh wow! Why would you have to pick a Brother Love?
Brother Love. He always goes, I love you.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was very annoying.
You didn't like that?
No.
Yeah. You know which one was my pet peeve that I just couldn't stand him as soon as he came out?
Oh.
You ready? It had to have been, and I don't know why. It's just every time he would come out, it was. He's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. ¿Cómo se llama? Tony Atlas.
Tony Atlas? He's dead?
Yeah, I do. What I heard last year.
Oh, yeah?
Passed away.
You gotta Google
He
that.
used to be a Southwest Championship wrestler, and I used to love watching him doing the Southwest Championship.
Georgia Championship.
Then Georgia Championship. And then every time he come down here, he would always beat up on the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
They would team up, but then for some reason,
he was usually a good guy.
Yeah, he was.
He was never a bad guy, really.
No, he didn't like
Tony
David.
Atlas.
Yeah, he didn't like David Von Erich.
Did you ever see that movie?
Not yet. I hear it's good.
Dude.
I hear it's good, but I also hear that some of the acting wasn't all that good. But hey, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say anything.
Did you ever see the movie The Wrestler?
I sure did with what's his name, Rick and Work, right?
No,
wasn't Rick and Work.
No, it was what's the name of that guy?
You jump off the top of the. I thought it was. I almost. That's why it's live, people. I thought he was like Jimmy Snuka, but Jimmy Superfly Snuka, but without his arms.
No, he's a really good actor, man. And they did the movie The Wrestler, and it was like really gritty, really like
down to earth to let you know what wrestling was all about. Yeah.
Well, you know how it follows. The main character, he's living in a, it's not glamorous, it's not the glamorous life,
it's like way back
that everybody sees on WWF and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's pretty gritty. You should check it out. The Wrestler. Somebody out there probably knows.
Mickey
and
Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
That's the name. I said
boy, man, he got
it. Yeah, that's what it was. I was there.
I had a brain fart. I couldn't remember, but
you had something, bro. Let me tell you what.
All right.
Well, anyways, guys, just to let you know too, James. He's on the air in the mornings, Q94.5.
Yeah.
Then he gets out of work and he goes and, as you can see, does a little workout, goes visit the gym. And then you do the Fox in the morning, real early in the morning, right?
Yeah, El Paso. El Paso, it's about 5:30 in the morning. I'm already recording my show. And then I'm on from 7 until 12 on Q94.5. And that's live.
Right, of course.
And then we're doing production. Whatever needs to be done, and
the band.
And the band, we're currently in the studio. We're recording. We're bringing in some pretty big names into the studio to.
Well, we'll say that. We'll say that for later.
Yeah,
we says it now.
But I will say we're collaborating with some people, and I think, because I was like, man, I'm almost 60 years old, man, and I'm like, how much longer do I want to push this band thing? You know what I mean? And so, man, if I, in the next 2 years, let's see what I can do, and maybe we'll do it another 5. It depends on where we're at, and what I'm doing, and what I'm, putting my money into, and trying to put together and recreate and create is something that I think is going to be pretty special. So I'm looking forward to that. Probably, I'm looking at June to release whatever we're going to do or whatever we're doing.
Hey, I got a great place you can go do that if you want to release it. That's Melody House Mansion over in Harlingen. Boy, those people over there, they've got a nice place, real big old backyard, real awesome. Brother Warren, Mr. Man, and Robbie All Right. Those guys are awesome. They're tremendously. As a matter of fact, that's my crew. That's why I said that. But it is a good place. But if you want to do, like I say, just a release, something like that, we're out there for you.
Well, the thing is after the music and the video and all that is done, then you have to think about how am I going to market it? How much money am I willing to?
You can always come right here and market it with us for free.
Yeah, but there's there's other ways of. When I first started the band, I've always been a big believer in advertising. And when I first started the band Whiskey D, a lot of people were wondering how did we, our name get branded so fast. Was because I'd buy advertisement.
Right.
I'd buy magazine ads, page. I'd buy program ads like for baseball games. Then I recorded some music and I released singles, and I bought advertisement at a radio station in New Braunfels, which is between Austin and San Antonio. Right. And I bought the ads from 5 to 9 p.m. So that was a good time. At 5:35 between New Braunfels and Austin, como está la traffic, bro? You know what I'm saying? So I invested there. I bought, ads at KTEX, at Q94.5. I was buying, newspaper ads and stuff like that. So I had a budget to promote and market and brand the band. And so that's how it kind of, rolled pretty fast for us, because I had told my wife when I first started the band, I told her, look, I'm going to start calling people so we can get opportunities, like open up for Kevin Fowler or somebody. And, obviously if you're going to offer your band, you're not going to charge them. Right.
Of course.
So I said, what I'll do is I'll find some sponsors, and I'll be able to put the sponsors at our merch booth, the banners, and then on stage, I'll mention, the name of the sponsors, and then, I'll help some ads on social media as well.
Right.
And for a certain fee. And then with that fee, I'll be able to pay my guys. If I didn't get anything out of it, I'd be all right, because I was looking at the long picture, And so
I've been there.
So that's how we started, and I told my wife, look, I'm going to make the calls, but if in a year the phone's not ringing for us, probably won't won't keep pushing it, you know.
Right.
Because I gave it a year.
You've got a real good band, you know. There, name your people in your band again.
Well, right now we have Oscar Chirino. He's from Rio Bravo, man. He's a new guitarist and freaking amazing, amazing guitar player. My brother Joey, he's a bass player. My other guitar player, Franco Gonzalez, is from Rio Hondo. And then we've got Mauro Vasquez on drums. He's just one of the most amazing musicians around, man.
Nice.
And then plus they have an okay singer, right? But they really make the band. And right now we're in the studio recording, bro. I mean, we're really excited about what we're gonna release because people are gonna be shocked with what we're doing.
We gotta put a lid on that one because I was told by you that let's keep this in wraps. So okay, we're gonna keep it on it because I'm excited. I already a little clip, but I'm excited. It's good.
I actually gave Rockin' Rudy and his crew a little taste of the song that we did, and they got approval. I've showed it to a couple of people, and they think it's great. Yeah, they think it's pretty good. And it's got potential, so we'll see, man. But like I said, I have to think of what's going to be my marketing budget. Am I going to put $5,000 behind it to push it, and to put it in the markets, and into you got to pay like social media. There's also other companies also that'll help you push it out on Spotify and and YouTube and stuff like that. You buy ads, so that's that. And then you pay them and they recommend your shit. You know what I mean? We're not going to recommend it, but you pay us, palms, right? We'll recommend it. Like when somebody gets on their YouTube music, you'll be around there. If he's listening to music or she's listening to music that kind of correlates with what you're doing. You know what I mean? So
word of mouth.
Yeah. Well, you got to pay for that stuff, man. For views.
If you were to, let's say, for example, get in a time machine and go back into time, and you ran into yourself when you were younger, what would you tell yourself, or what advice would you give yourself about today?
Shoot, man, stay away from drugs.
For sure. Number one.
Alcohol, man. Definitely. I mean, that's what I'd say, man, because I mean, even though I went through that cocaine addiction and that alcoholism, for 25 years, I was actually capable of still, I swear to God, man, I don't even know why I'm still,
because God's not done with you. That's why,
Yeah, but
he's got a big plan for you, and there it is.
Back in the day, I'd get fired, I'd get rehired, I'd get fired, I wouldn't show up, and I'd be, drugging and missing in action for like 4 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Where's Rock, and stuff like that. And I was like, I tried to commit professional suicide so many times besides physical suicide with as much drugs as I was doing that, just being here today, man, is absolutely a miracle, man.
It's a blessing.
Miracle, man. But I had to work it, man. I had to get into rehab and say, you know what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. You need to tell yourself that, and you got to get ready to commit to it. You know what I mean? And I did, man. I did. I didn't want to go back. I had already been there, and then I was good for 2 years, and then I went back, and then a year later I was back in rehab. And when I went into rehab, that's when I finally said, took me like a week to figure it out, but that's because my brain was getting out of the fog. You know what I mean? Right. And that's when I said, you know what, that's it. I can't go back. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to stay sober, and I know I can be the most productive if I would, and I will, and my relationships will get better, and with my kids, and it happened. My kids, I have a 35-year-old son who's married to a beautiful lady, and my daughter's 32, and we have an amazing relationship.
Is your son still working at the Harley?
No, he's a post office guy now.
Ooh, now he's a
mailman. Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah, he's doing real good.
And so my daughter works with us there at Intravision. She works with LA. Uh-huh. And it's just like I want to tell everybody out there, if you're a dad and you think that you've screwed up so much because and you think that they're never gonna forgive you or they're never gonna, I'm living proof, man, that if you work hard at it, you can fix things, but you gotta be willing to do the work. And but there is faith, hope, and courage, You just got to try it. I tell you what, if I hadn't stopped doing drugs and alcohol, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be as productive. I wouldn't be here. Period.
You wouldn't be here. You
know what I found out?
You wouldn't be where you're at now.
Like in the past few years, ever since I turned 50, the friends of mine that kept partying, they're all dying, dude.
All gone.
I mean, I've lost like I don't know how many friends, right. And in their 50s, and I've realized that, man, if I would have kept going the way I was going, I wouldn't have made it out of my 50s. I probably wouldn't. So that was something that was really, really interesting, you know, because like I said, I'm always analyzing, and I'm analyzing all my friends that I used to party with and get high and shit like that. and they're passing away, man, you know, and it's really tough, man. It's like hard for the family too.
I know this a friend of mine, he's no longer here, may he rest in peace, that he stopped partying, stopped drinking, stopped doing anything, chasing women, was committed to his wife and everything, and a year and a half, 2 years later, he passed away because his body got normal, was healing and everything like that. And I guess sometimes the body gets used to a certain drug and you don't do that drug no more, that you know it takes you away. And that's what it is,
you know, everybody's different, you know, but you can do it, you know. I'm living proof, man. I thought I was never going to be able to do that, but I set my mind to it, and
here you are,
and I took care of everything I had to take care of. And now, man, look at what we're doing. We're so busy, we're working hard.
Thank God, we're blessed. We're blessed. That's what it is.
Talking about life blessings, is good.
Talking about blessings, a big old shout out to Mix Masters out there, Bobby Macias and crew. How you all doing? My brothers in arms, of course. You know rock and roll James already, huh? I have more questions because I got to ask you these questions, but I want to know, you and Whiskey D make it big, or basically you guys are already big. Everybody knows you guys.
No. There's no such thing as making it big.
You're making it big already. People are hearing
bro. No. Honestly, let me tell you,
you're just making it.
No. That make it big is out from the, you know, it's an 80s thing, you know. Right now it's like just being a working band. That's all everybody's asking for.
What would be your the best or the venue that you might want to perform at? Like, you know, that's the place you want to go.
You know what? That would be that theater in downtown San Antonio, the Aztec Theater.
The Aztec Theater.
I would love to play there, man. I've been to some concerts there, and I just love those type of concerts. You know, the ones that are a little bit closer. You know, I went to go see Metallica with Pantera Stadium, and you know, it's like it's too big, bro.
Can't really hear much. Right?
Bro, you're just in there for the experience, really. But you know, to really enjoy the concert, maybe if you're down on the floor, maybe. But you know, and still even like that. But I like those small venues, man. And Aztec Theater there in San Antonio, man. I've seen some really good bands there. Zach Wild, Zach Sabbath. Steel Panther,
Zach Sabbath. And, that's the Zach Wild tribute band,
yeah,
right?
Man, they were awesome. And so yeah, man, I want to, you know, I wouldn't mind playing there, but we'll see, you know, with these new songs and new ideas that I got coming out. That's what I'm looking at. I want to be able to, you know, garner at least a decent amount of a following to be able to play in a little venue like that. You know, it's not really that small. It probably fit about 800, but you know, seating and all that. But you know, I mean, I still have goals, man. I'm 57 years old, but I'm still driven. I have goals. I have my health. I have a beautiful wife. I got some very successful things going on with the projects that I do. PVT, my YouTube channel, my social media is getting a lot better. You know, and I'm doing radio in El Paso. I'm doing radio here. I started doing stand-up comedy again. So,
that's stand-up. I was going to ask you about that.
Raymond Horta, Mario Salazar, and I are doing a tour called the Big Chile Relleno Comedy Tour.
Right.
And so we've been to Freer, Texas. We're going to Eagle Pass in a couple of weeks. Then we're going to go to Odessa. So I'm doing that too. And then I've got the band, and you know, I'm going to be ring announcing. Yeah. So I kind of spread myself thin, man. And that's why I'm thinking, you know, I think when I turn 60, I might have to start like putting a few things aside. But I'm that type of person that shit bothers me. You know, I need to
because you're used to doing it, then you don't do it. It's like, oh,
yeah. Y le quieres a poner atención, porque si no le pones atención, it's going to start, you know, you want to keep it at a consistent, you know, working level. And And it takes a lot of dedication, and I don't think so, because I ain't got that much structure. Pero, I'll be there on time. I'll do what I gotta do. Just give you a few thoughts. But if I'm done doing what I gotta do, I'm gone. You know what I mean? That's that's it.
It is what it is.
But
it is what it is.
Yeah, but yeah. So I'm glad that it's working hard. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 years, bro.
I wanted to ask you, when you were growing up, of course, desde Huerquito, were you considered a mama's boy, a daddy's boy, or just the boy?
Mama's boy.
A mama's boy all the way, huh?
Yeah.
That's kind of chichi así nomás.
Yeah. No, not that. I was very independent. I moved out of my house when I was 15. 15, 16. Yeah. I was living, man, I can't even say those stories.
Yeah, no. I remember when I ran into your mom. This was a while back when we was doing the over there at the outlets.
Yeah. But I'm thinking of like what I did when I moved out, where I went and all that. That's a whole other story, man.
Y'all want to hear that? Next time.
I was living in an apartment in West Oakland, going to school in Mercedes, and my girlfriend that was her apartment. And she lived with a friend there, and she was from Harlingen, but she had come to Mercedes because Harlingen, they needed 22 credits, and in Mercedes, you just needed 18 credits to graduate, right? So they came, and that's how we met. And she was a little older than me, so, but yeah, that's how I moved out. I was living with them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to school.
You were living
and then I went and I lived with my grandma for a bit, and then I went back home, and and then I finally at 17, I moved out for good, and I was on South Padre Island, DJ in Louis' backyard. And
so you basically, you're a mama's boy, and then you moved out because you're a mama's boy.
Yes, man, I'm a mama's boy, and I left right away, man. No, but as a kid, my mom, she was, my dad, he partied, and he worked, and he did his thing. He was always busy. So my mom actually, we're always with her. And she was basically the one that would finance my album collection, and stuff like that. And then I had 2 little brothers, and I'd babysit them, and she'd give me money, so I could, buy my albums and stuff like that. And then I started working at a farm across the street when I was about 14. Started cutting the yard, and before I knew it, I was a ranch hand there. And I worked there from 14 to about 16, and I was getting like $15 a day. But that was during the summer, and then of course I'd go to school and stuff like that. But I always worked, man. I always worked. And then finally got into the radio and club and then the radio stuff. Pero siempre, I had a friend named Robert Rivera. He'd pick me up. We'd go work, man. Trabajamos en el Pepino, bro. We worked at a bodega en la feria, la cebolla, la naranja. I'd go and do during Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
While all the kids were at home just chilling, I was out pisqueando, getting naranja, man, getting paid, and then when I get back to school, I had about $110, $200 sometimes, depending on how hard I worked, But and then we'd be pisqueando naranja like it was drizzly and cold, dude. And we're out there having fun. Me and my friend Robert Rivera, bro, we always did a lot of good things like that together, man. He put me to work, and he taught me, a good how to. And you know what I learned? I learned that you work, you make money, right?
Uh-huh.
But I also learned that I don't want to do that shit all my life. You know what I mean? So I always tell people, you gotta go try different shit, man, and that way you build perspective.
Right?
Like, man, you know what I mean? You work different ondas. I worked HEB as a sacker. I hated it, bro. I couldn't handle that shit.
But it was money. You were getting paid, right?
You know what I would do, bro? At HEB there, Mercedes.
Listen, guys, listen.
I used to impersonate, the freaking manager. So he'd leave like at 9 at night or 9:30 to go drop the money bag and shit, right, at the bank, And I'd get on the mic and I'd call all the guys, all the sackers that were mopping in the back. Hey, this is Johnny. Come on up. I need sackers up front. All of sackers up front. I'd get on because they had a mic back then. They had the phone, right?
You hear that, right?
And so they all come out, right? And then they'll go, hey, man, where's Johnny? Bro, we're working. güey.
Man, it's not working.
I was like a chini, bro.
¿Cómo que va a decir esto?
I made a living out of it, bro. Hey, a career, carnal.
Let me ask you a question, because I know there was a question.
Órale, let's go,
that I
vato,
have
porque
to
ya le
ask
tengo
you.
que poner, carnal. Órale.
Well,
One more question
que está cotorreando.
one more question y ya.
It's going to be one more after this one, because
Vámonos,
the last question is a good one. Let me see.
Si no, aquí amanecemos,
Hey,
carnal.
I don't mind. I got to be at work in the morning, too.
Me voy derecho al jale, aquí no hay pedo.
Big old shout out to all you beautiful people once again here in the RTV watching us.
It's on Facebook?
Everything, Facebook, yeah. But after 24 hours, it'll be on YouTube and all the other ones that we could also do live, too, because I forgot to update it. You know, it's my fault on that one, yes. But back to what I was saying right now. Shout out to all the Valley people that are watching us right now here on 97.7 FM The City. And big old thank you to Rock and Roll James for taking the time to come out and join us today on my very first podcast, on my very first show episode as well. And I want to let you all know real quick. James is a very humble person. He really is. Yeah, he looks wild and crazy and everything like that because he really is. But he is really a nice guy. He really is. Because the Whiskey D toy drive, I think you guys donated like a big old truck and a half load or something like that.
That was this year.
Yeah, right.
Last year,
that big 18-wheeler and a half or something.
No.
No, but where did you take those toys to?
It was a lot of toys, man. I think it was the most we've ever put together.
It was a lot of toys. I was like, wow.
We actually, we played with the band. We want to thank London's. They opened up there, and also Art De Leon también, the Melodious Bastards. He was able to put our band in there, and we were able to get a few toys. And then, but my YouTube channel, boy, man, I mean, they donated money, and we bought like about almost $2,000 worth of toys.
Nice.
And we went and turned them in with Edinburgh, for the city of Edinburgh, the housing authority. The kids, that live in those complexes. And then we go over there, we take the toys like the weekend before, and they sort them out, and
well, I remember when
age and gender and all that, and then
the video was a long line. I mean,
yeah, no, it's awesome. It's an awesome feeling to see kids, that
it's always good to give. Always good to give, and that's what what I'm saying. He's a very humble. He gives a lot.
We've been consistent. We started about 2013, and we've been doing it every year. And even during COVID, we had to do like a drive-by. They would just pass by, and we'd give them the toy.
Right.
You know how it was like that. After it was like for almost a year into COVID, right? But man, we've been consistent, man. Even when we couldn't play with the band, we didn't do some shows for Christmas. We did it through our YouTube channel, and our fans just open up their hearts and they help us out. So
thank you, Valley.
We appreciate that.
Thank you, Valley. See, Valley people are good people, and yes, we are.
We got donations from all over the United States.
Well, the Valley people are still good people.
But I mean, YouTube.
Thank you to everybody else.
YouTube is otro pedo, bro. I mean, I realized that I realized the magnitude of it when I connected a phone to my board, and I started taking calls. So I put the phone, I connected it, and I told everybody, hey, give me a call. I want to know where you're at. We're live. Number's right here. And it was the number right. And the phone rang, and I answered, hey, ¿dónde estás hablando? Where are you calling from? San Francisco. And then I said, oh, wow, man, shout out to San Francisco. And then the next call, hey, where are you calling from? Florida. Ooh. I was like, right there. And then I was like, holy shit, coast to coast, dude. Coast to coast. And I was like, this is syndication. This isn't local. This is, you have to think bigger.
Think out of the box.
Yeah, you have to think like, you know what I mean? But
think out of the box.
Yeah, you have to realize there's people all over the world watching you. We were getting messages from Osaka, Japan, at the military base over there, just all over the place. And that was like when I said, wow, man, this is going to be a fun ride. And we're up to 30,000 subscribers. We're already almost at 31,000. Don't
forget to hit like and subscribe for my show here, Rock and Rudy on the Scene Live. As you can see, we get great talent to come into the Valley. It's about you guys. You got the talent. Come on over. Get in touch with Mr. Joe Martinez, 956-789-0702. Hey, call him. Let him know that you've got a talent. Come on over. Show us what you got. We'll put you on. And if you show what you got, then awesome. If you ain't got what we think you got, then also too, We're not going to deny nobody because we're not like that. But we will tell you you suck, just to let you know that you do. So possibly you won't do it again.
Well,
but if you do
cool,
it,
dude.
but if you do it again, then maybe you get better. That's just the way. You got to keep going on and on and on and on.
Brutal honesty.
Do you? I think you said one time.
One more question.
No. Oh, one more question.
Yeah, that's it.
One more question. And you better answer this question right, because if you don't, I ain't never calling you back again. All right. I'm just joking. Big old shout out to Laura. Hi, babe. Who was your favorite Rescue 945 driver?
The only one, man, right? You were
no, DP was too.
Oh, I don't
Tony
remember.
Palacios.
You're the only one I know. I remember.
That's why. Yeah. I would be in the studio.
You were the most rambunctious.
I was the loudest one too.
Yeah.
But I'd be in the studio jamming out, and we had like ventanas, and we would look at each other, and I see James over looking at me like, Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. Rockin' Rudy on the scene live of Rock and Roll James. And I want to send out a big old shout out to all the beautiful people that are watching us. A big old shout out to TKO, David Leja and company and stuff. A big old shout out to Melody House Mansion, and big old shout out to Rock and Roll James and the PBT. Awesome things that he does. His crew. I was going to say Riley, but it's Rally. I got it right, Rally. I got it right. And Jax. Phoenix Jax is tremendously awesome. His Jax World is terrible.
He's going to keep calling her Riley, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to. It's just.
It's something that's just engraved in him.
It is.
Ingrained.
Ingrained. Keep tuning in, because here on my show, I'm going to get more talent for sure. Whether you got no talent, you do got talent. We're going to put you on the air. And thank you. First episode. Rock and Roll James. Thank you so much for coming out.
The ice.
That's it. Well,
Good luck,
y'all be careful. God bless. Peace. See ya.
You're listening to KCYT 97 FM The City. Tonight's podcast with Rockin' Rudy on the Scene Live. And now, Rockin' Rudy.